Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? Just wanted to get a little drawing in. Glad to have you here. And maybe I'll answer a few questions along the way, but I'm going to get some drawing done. I've had a little housekeeping. It's been a very incredibly busy couple of weeks on the business side of things. In fact, it's been an absolute roller coaster. I don't think anybody's having a really fun time running a business right now. I just talked to my lawyer this morning, who's talking to a lot of different businesses, and they're big and small. Nobody's having a great time. We are very fortunate in many ways because we are small. There's not a lot of overhead. We only have one employee, and Elizabeth and myself work for free. So, well, essentially. And sorry, shut that off. But yeah, he was telling me big businesses are having big time troubles too. So it's a crazy time. Everybody's doing pretty well where you are. So, but yeah, it's been a roller coaster few weeks, and I am wanting to get some nice, quiet drawing time in, which as things heat up in the business side, that gets to be a little bit tougher to squeeze in. So I was on the phone for 10 hours yesterday. 10 hours. And today I was, it's been a day of meetings too, and other related business. So I'm going to draw, and I want you guys to hang out and have a good time. You can ask me a question or two, but I'm going to work on this cover for the episode 3 book of Red Rooster, and also just a bit of housekeeping on that. Working on it. I have done a few pages since I last live streamed, but they had spoilers in them, and I didn't want to show any of that work. But yeah, I'm making some progress, and we are definitely on the downhill side of it. And we have if you missed it, on Facebook, I posted our trading cards. So we have a design for our Red Rooster trading card. And good news about that is we like the design so much that we are considering making a whole card set of maybe 50 or 60 cards across our entire line of books. So let me know what you think about that. With our corrugate manufacturer, they can make a custom box full of graphics, so we can make the box. And we can make all the cards, and the prices are all really good on those. And I think we'd have a really cool offering, perhaps for a collectible Indiegogo campaign. So if you're interested in a 50 card set, maybe even some sketch cards and things like that, we're thinking about it, and we think it'd be a lot of fun to make. So yeah, card set. So that might be a campaign to expect down the road. The good thing about running campaigns for us from now on out is that we can advertise them in the back of our comic books, the bi-monthly comic books, as they get released into retail. So it's a whole new pipeline potentially for Indiegogo customers and crowdfunding customers, I hope. So we're going to run a bit of a test in future months. As we've fulfilled the bundle campaign, all those orders are out, and then we're gearing up to start printing some of the fulfillment items for Red Rooster. We've kind of figuring out the crowdfunding game, but the idea is that we can advertise Indiegogos in our retail books and time them just right, so that when they're on the shelves, because those customers aren't you guys necessarily. That's a broader customer base, hopefully, and new people to our content, but also new people to crowdfunding and people that aren't on YouTube and that kind of stuff. So we're hoping we can reach a whole new market of people to bring into crowdfunding through fun collectible projects like card sets, or maybe board games in the future. We've talked about doing a board game for the Futurists. That's more like next year kind of thing. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun too. We want to use Indiegogo because we have a pipeline for our books. We want to use Indiegogo for collectibles and special editions, that kind of thing. So Jason asks, will the books be available on Amazon? No, they'll be available on Walmart.com. And we actually received word this week that they're going to put them up for pre-order. So you could actually pre-order them before they're on the stands. That's the first episodes of the books. Although most of you guys already bought them through the bundle. Spirits Car says, hey, Mitch, Liam Gray was trying to track you down. Yes, he reached out to me on Facebook and I missed his message, but I did write him back on Facebook. And he wanted me to come on his show, but I really don't have a lot of time to do that right now. It's crazy. I don't have time to really do my own broadcasts, but since we got 40 something people in here now, it's a great time to talk to you. But I did send him a note for him to read to his audience. So you may expect that in the future, but yeah, he was very nice. So nice to see everybody here. Again, I'm just going to try to draw. I did receive, we've been sending out some comic books to influencers and comic book pros and stuff like that. And been getting some really great feedback from industry professionals, which is always a great thing to have, very validating. So that's, we had one in particular that was really blown away, somebody you would all know, but I won't say their names. That's up to them if they want to pimp our books or give us a shout out. Sean asks, how about digital comics? We do not have a digital strategy at the moment. The one, I've had a lot of requests for Comixology placement. I'm not a Comixology user at all. Not really my favorite experience. I don't know what we're going to do. So we don't have an exclusive agreement with Walmart, but you can only assume, since Comixology, that Walmart is not a fan of Amazon, and Amazon owns Comixology. So while we don't have an exclusive with Walmart, we also don't want to piss them off. So before we jump onto Comixology, we want to make sure that we don't rattle any cages while we're in this early stage of breaking out into the wider world with our great content. So hey, Kelsey's here. So I've seen Kelsey's new pages for Nora Saga Episode 2, and they are amazing. And also amazing are the David Williams has finished his Episode 2 pages. So, and they are absolutely beautiful. I love the scene at the end of the book. You will not be disappointed by Bass Reeves Episode 2, which will hit the stands in July 7th at Walmart and Walmart.com. So you won't be disappointed in either of those two books. Both those artists delivered really big time on those. And making books takes time. We've been at this for a long time, and we're all hitting our stride in terms of art. Kelsey spared he didn't spare anything. He gave it his all, and these books did take time. But we are rolling, and we are on a schedule now in terms of Walmart that we can't slip. I feel very fortunate that we're doing a bi-monthly release schedule. This is something I've advocated since the early visions for forming a publishing company, because I felt like, having been in the business for a number of years and watched all the turnover, I think if you want to build a fan base for a title, you have to give them consistency month after month. And some artists can draw a book in 3 weeks, but it is never going to be their best work. They can't ink it themselves, and most artists are way better when they can. But if you give them a bi-monthly schedule, while the customers may have to wait a little while, an extra month for a book to come out, when the book does come out, it's very special because it doesn't skip a beat where the last one left off. The quality is the same or better. It's delivered by the same team. It's the artist doing his own inks or her own inks, and always paired with a really top-notch color artist or coloring themselves because they have the time to do it. In Kelsey's case. So I think that consistency will grow the audience over time because the audience has an expectation. You could imagine watching a Netflix show where in episode 3 of a Netflix show, they change all the actors. And my my thought is if when a comic book changes out its artistic talent, you're essentially switching out your actors in your television show. So just a theory. Honestly, this is testing all my theories about comic books, and how to sell them and how to make them. And so far, we've been very fortunate, but we also are not on the shelves. That changes on May 5th. Just a general COVID update. It did not really affect us at all, which is by the grace of God. I know that's not true for everybody. So this is in no means going around tooting of horns. But it's just a message to let you all know that we are on track and did not really experience any disruptions, although the displays rolled out a little slower than they would have otherwise because they were being very, very cautious in terms of their employees and stuff like that. So, but they are all out. What is going on right now? I mean, everything's out of our hands. All the teams are finishing their episode 2 books. And that's me included. So all of the displays and all the printed comic books are at the distributors' 5 warehouses. They take the comic books and then pack them into the assembled displays. And then those displays go into a single shipper box. And then they're all loaded onto crates and onto trucks. And they go out to the 38 Walmart distribution centers. And then from 38 Walmart distribution centers, each one goes onto a truck that goes to an individual Walmart, totaling 3,384 of them. Hopefully they'll all make it there. So anyway, that's how the system works. So 2 thumbs up for capitalism. Isn't that amazing? You go from a printer to a corrugate manufacturer to 5 distribution warehouses, and everything gets packed. Those go to 38 distribution centers and then on to 3,384 Walmarts. It's truly an astounding feat of logistics, and it's definitely a thing that people are complaining about my mic. I'll turn my music down. So it's an astounding feat of logistics and a victory for comic books and capitalism, which is 2 things that I love a great deal. So thank you all. I guess that's kind of a general update. I'm very happy to do some drawing tonight because it's been a very busy and hectic and very roller coaster couple of weeks. So I'm going to enjoy some very peaceful drawing, hopefully over the next several days. And maybe I'll pop on a few times and share that with y'all. So anyway, that's the update. Thanks for tuning into that. If you want to stick around for draw time, that's what I'm going to do now. I think Ethan popped in and said hello. So hey, Ethan, congratulations. Big time on Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet. That is a big deal. I think it's going to be knowing a little bit about it in the early days of his planning. I do think it is going to be a masterpiece. So I think everybody is delivering a great work, and I love the challenge and the competition and the capitalism and all of the enthusiasm that all those things generate. I'm very happy to be doing great books alongside other great artists and talents. All right, I'm going to draw now. All right, if I can get my screen up. Okay, this is the cover for issue 3, or episode 3, we're calling it, of Red Rooster, which has to be previewed in the back of episode 2. So this is one of the critical things. I'd rather be doing a page because it gets me closer to fulfillment, but this does have to go in the back of an issue or a comic. We'll also bundle these into the, all the extra covers will be bundled into the back matter of the Golden Age campaign, your 68-page graphic novel that will come out. So you'll get to have them twice, hopefully, if you go to Walmart and buy them as well. But yeah, we're going to preview the way the books work. If you got the Founders Edition, you kind of know our format. I think it's a really cool format. We've been getting a lot of great feedback on it, but we're going to preview the next episode covers and the backs of the current episode out. So you'll know what to look for when it hits the stands. I hope you also enjoyed in the back matter the 2-page spread vignettes that our designer created, the little infographics. We were very proud of those, and it's something I want to continue going forward. And again, starting in July, we're going to start advertising our own Indiegogo campaigns. At least that's the plan, in the back of comic books. So it's a whole new experiment for Indiegogo and crowdfunding, and hopefully that will bring a lot of new people into the crowdfunding experience. So I'm hoping that's a big win for everybody. Yeah, all of the Allegiance books are going to Walmart. The episode 1s, so they're individual comic books. Their individual comic books are going to Walmart. That's what somebody was asking. There's Kelsey. Kelsey says, I'm working on cover for Norse Saga 3 right now. It's cover day. It is cover day. I want to finish this tonight. I am alive. But I felt dead. I did feel dead, but I am alive. Okay. So Strong, everybody gets a cover. This issue features Strong Boy in a very prevalent way in his relationship with the Red Rooster. Okay, which aisle? It's going to be in the books aisle. So we're going to be at the side of the end cap in the books aisle in US Walmarts. So please go and check them out. Tell a friend, bring a friend. Just stay 6 feet apart from your friend. But yeah, it'll be on the books aisle in most of them. They'll be hanging on what's called a sidekick. It is a very beautiful red Allegiance Arts branded display. And so I hope you'll look for that and pick up the books. Please do. Pick up 2, share them with a friend. Bag and board 1. CGC it. Rooting for Blake. Yes, she's wonderful. And Norse Saga is a wonderful story. I'm very proud of it. May 5th is the date. As we've been saying all along, we were very fortunate not to experience any disruption. So May 5th is officially New Comic Book Day. May 5th is New Comic Book Day. So if you have been starved of new comic books, you will be able to go to Walmart on May 5th and participate in New Comic Book Day. At least get a little shot in the arm for that. Zombie says, will they eventually make it to Canadian Walmarts? So that is a hurdle we're going to have to cross soon. So they will not launch in Canadian Walmarts. The reason being is that Canada has a different distributor. So we're running at max capacity right now. So it's a hurdle we'll have to cross once we've kind of established ourselves and we can build those relationships. But theoretically, Walmart can introduce us to the right people and we can do it. And we've had discussions with people that can hook us up with the right people. But we'll get there. We'll get there. May 5th. May 5th is the date. You have no idea how excited I am that comics are coming back to supermarkets. I've had in my mind for my publishing company for years. Wonderful. I think, and this has been a pitch I've been making for a while, comic books are like ripe fruit on a big, beautiful tree ready to be plucked. But you can't just hide fruit away in a dusty, anyway, my analogy is going way off the deep end there, but essentially comic books need to be discoverable and accessible. Those are two things that are somewhat difficult to provide in the direct market comic book store world. And while we all love comic book stores, what we really love is for them to grow an entirely new crop of readership. But it's sometimes difficult to do that because you don't really think to walk into a comic book store. But everybody walks into a Walmart or a Target or a Kroger or something like that. And so I think it's a way for new fans to discover a new hobby or a new collectible or something, a new story or a new character in whatever way they connect to the product, and then indulge it by then seeking out more of that thing. So we can't supply an endless supply of comic books for people. We just aren't at that capacity. So my great hope in all of this is creating a system where everybody wins, where we get to keep making incredible books with our great partners, but then we are feeding new fans into, cultivating new fans into a bigger system, which benefits everyone. So anyway, I don't think that's wishful thinking. I think that's actually possible. And in fact, I think the probable outcome. Great. Yeah, good. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. I'm going to draw now. I'll do a little commentary while I do this. So the idea behind this cover is I'm going to do a very interesting shadow light play. So Strong Boy is about to tussle with somebody off panel or off screen, off stage. And he's standing in front of a tattered and torn Red Rooster poster. So we get to have a Red Rooster on the cover. It's sending a metaphoric message about the state of something. Something's in tatters in related to Red Rooster here, but it also tells you a little bit about the world that they live in. There's this poster, and he's a celebrity, and he's asking you to sign up for the Order of the Dawn, which is his fan club, but yet it's all in tatters. Right, so and Strong Boy looks angry, and he's about to fight somebody, and you'll find out who. It might be more than one person in this issue. So the idea being that in this issue 2 cover, we gave Miss Midnight a big feature. So in this one, we wanted to feature Strong Boy, but I also didn't want to leave off the Red Rooster, so I came up with this concept here. And then in issue 4 picks up where the Golden Age special leaves off, and you'll get to, it's really cool. I think you'll really like the bookend when you get the Golden Age special. Issue 4, the setup for issue 4 is really cool. And issue 4 introduces a whole new world for the Red Rooster and new characters. And I'm very excited to do that. In fact, you're going to get me talking. I'm going to start talking about the story, and I need to be drawing. But anyway, I'm excited to get to be done with the Golden Age and then on to the next chapter of Red Rooster. Because it was kind of my original vision, and Golden Age was something I felt like I started too far ahead. And so Golden Age came into being because I felt like we needed to tell all this backstory. But things really take off with issue 4. Hopefully you all loved the preview. So I hope if you're a backer, I hope you checked out the preview that we set up. So at no cost to you, and it's just us trying to make sure that that the book is getting made, and it is an extremely high quality product. We offered a complimentary digital download of the first 24 pages of Red Rooster, which is the first 24 pages that will go into for the Walmart fans. And anyway, I hope you downloaded that, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that all of the hard work and quality and effort that we're putting into this resonated with you, because we have certainly spared no amount of effort to create, from story to art to book design to complete user experience. We really wanted it to be something special. We knew going into this field, creating our own publishing company, that everything had to be top notch. And then when you multiply that level of quality we were achieving across 4 titles, it was certainly a lot of elephant to chew, so to speak. But I think we did it. I'm certainly very, very proud of all 4 books, and having done them once, it makes it easier down the line. So now we don't have to rethink our design aesthetics. We built a brand. Building a brand wasn't, it seems easy when you see and hold a comic book, but you have to think through all the minutiae that go in and around building a brand and a cohesive top-down experience, from the website to the book design, to the layout, to the displays. Even the displays reflect the brand and all that kind of stuff. So I hope it shows, and I hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy it. That's really what it's all about. All right, his thumb looked weird to me. Justice for Topsy. I forgot about that meme. I noticed the very first comment that came in was from Facebook, and it was while everybody was waiting to come in. And this is obviously a comment I get all the time: is when am I getting my chicken book? What's the delivery date for Red Rooster? And if I could tell you my life for the last 2 weeks, you would know why I hesitate to put a date on anything. Even, we have hard dates for publishing the book, but my life over the last bit of time has been, and Elizabeth's too. I will write a book about it. I will write a book about this journey, and you will all know. But it's been something else, and it's been it's an extremely complicated thing that we're doing, and every day is a curveball. So I didn't intend to spend 10 hours on the phone yesterday, but it's the way it happens sometimes, and in meetings. Just to get things going. And then everybody got a curveball with this COVID thing. Some more than others. But the book is getting done. It's on the downhill side. We are scheduling and preparing to start printing our first fulfillment items, the trading card and the sketchbook. I have designs for both of them. They're not in final approval yet, but we're getting there. Absolutely beautiful. We have a wonderful designer that we're working with here in Little Rock, Chris, to win an opinion. I've been wanting to stream for days, just to let you guys know we're alive and making your chicken book, but it has been crazy. Every day is a curveball. It's nuts. It's nuts. I can't even begin to tell you. All right, I think the drawing part of this is about done. I'm going to add some texture to the wall, but really the cool aspect of this one is in the lighting. Let me show you the original sketch. In fact, I'll need to pull it up anyway for my reference. Let me get that. Here we go. Okay, that is that's the layout. All right. So I'll need that for my reference. So you can see it's all about the lighting and the shadow play for this one. I don't know if I'm going to paint this or just colorize it. Actually, I'm kind of working into the dark on this, but that's kind of the fun. My light keeps falling down. Damn it. Well, there goes my light. Sorry about the racket. There's a comic book store in Japan called Verse Comics. They import Western comic books to Japan. I hope you guys get books published there too. I would love to strike some kind of licensing deal like Marvel does with Panini, where they can be just printed overseas rather than shipped. But we'll see. figure out how to run a comic book company first, and we'll figure out how to expand once we find our feet. Okay, so next steps on this art piece. The next step on this is to do a grayscale version. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing here. So I think the next step would be to render this in gray. Do you want to come online? Huh? I think I might do it from scratch. Elizabeth came in here talking about business, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm getting that." She does not want to be on camera. That was pretty funny. All right, let's start with the big, big strokes here. So I want the shadow to cut across his face like this. All right, I'll address this one. Hi, Mitch. I'm an internet backer, Red Rooster and the 3 Allegiance books. Thank you, first of all. The 3 books haven't arrived yet. USPS, last update, March 22nd, said in transit. Corona, I guess. Do you have feedback from them? First of all, are you international or are you United States? So if you're an international backer, it's a possibility that your books are still in transit, because I mean everything's left us, and it has left us for a while now. But international backers went out last, and obviously that being closest to the Corona outbreak created some complications, and we've received word from other international backers that they have not received their books as well. I do not know what to tell you other than I don't know if you can contact USPS, or if you're international, you might just have to wait it out just a little longer. I would give it a few more weeks. Okay, international. Yeah, that is really unfortunate, but you're not the only one. So it's not just you. We've heard that from several other individuals that were international backers. Comics Exposed just asked the question I just addressed earlier in chat. So I'm doing everything I can to draw books and run a comic book company and do the best work of my life. And the books are amazing and beautiful and hard fought and hard won. And I'm squeezing every ounce of time I can into finishing Red Rooster, which is on the downhill slide. The Walmart books are bi-monthly, meaning that I'll be done with them long before the entire story is out for Walmart customers. And if you are a Red Rooster backer, you know the book is going to be extremely high quality. And we put everything we had into it through, that was evident through the download. But yeah, you can rewatch the stream to catch up on all the stuff if you want to do that. Oh, my sketches look so beautiful, and it's kind of hard to replicate it sometimes. Yeah, it was a general update in the beginning, just trying to fill everybody in. It has been a crazy, I mean, I can't really tell you guys everything that happens, but it is a roller coaster ride. A roller coaster ride. And I know everybody wants me drawing all the time, but this publishing company comes with a set of comes with a lot of responsibilities. And drawing is the thing I get to do to relax after very difficult days. And I also have to draw at a level that's extremely high. So it is a crazy juggling act, and it has aged me significantly. And so those that aren't happy about that just aren't going to be happy about it. But I am going to deliver a book that's excellent. In fact, we're delivering 4 books that are excellent. And I think a lot of people that were worried aren't, because they know what we're doing, because we've been very transparent about everything, or as transparent as we could be. And I think the quality is self-evident. So I was actually thinking about this earlier. The choice in here that I had to make is the choice I had to make is I had to make several choices very difficult choices along the way. One, the opportunity to start a publishing company came, although I've always kind of wanted to do this, it came in the wake of the success of the Red Rooster campaign. So there was an opportunity through different various relationships I'd cultivated over the years to perhaps possibly open a door at Walmart or some other vendor like that. It was a shot in the daggum dark. Not really. It was more like a Hail Mary pass. And I had opportunity to do it, and we made a few pitches. Those pitches were very well received, and it led to a Walmart deal. And then I had to make that obviously cost me a lot of time to prepare those pitches. And then from there, we had to fill the shelves we had a commission to make books. And I had to simultaneously had to draw. Here, let me put my camera on because it's no fun to just stare at a blank screen. And now you can see my lighting's messed up. High production values here, folks. So I'll break this down into like a long journal entry one day, or a book. I'm definitely going to write a book after all this. It has been bizarre. My life has become bizarre. So a series of difficult choices. Had the opportunity to do this and pitch it, then succeeded, and then had basically the commission to build for a lineup of books and assemble amazing creators. And the choice was, do I fart out Red Rooster and create something that's not good, get it done quickly and then focus fully on the business, or try to balance delivering drawing a book and creating a story. I mean, I'm crafting this whole thing. Mark's the script writer on this, but this is my baby, so, and I want to spare leave no stone unturned in creating the best story possible, and multiply that across 4 more titles, and logistics involved in all that, and then designing a brand and all that stuff. It obviously became very complicated and clearly slowed my production. But the choice was not to fart out a book, not to deliver something or at a lower quality just to get it done, because I felt that would not only do myself a disservice, but that would do the backers a disservice. It would do this company a disservice. It would do Walmart a disservice. We have our initial investors in the company, does them a disservice. People had an expectation of me and everyone around us then to deliver at a very high level, not just of myself in terms of art and story, but then across the lineup of books we were creating, and also considering the reputations and abilities of all the creators that then became involved with us. I think we all then had a mutual responsibility to create great work for each other, and we've definitely done that. We found a wonderful designer who helped us to realize our vision in book design. We have a wonderful letterer in Eric Weathers, who was excellent and wonderful to work with, and very flexible in terms of revisions and making sure that he delivered at beyond the level that we expected. And I can be a little particular. I can be very particular. So I really appreciate our designer and Eric for working with my 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 eccentricities and my particular sensibilities about what I wanted a comic book reading experience to be. So, I made a conscious choice to make sure that all the books were great, and that I was delivering the best work on Red Rooster that I could deliver. That is the course that we charted. I am the CEO of a comic book company, not something that I expected or knew would happen when we launched the campaign. But I find myself at the helm of a really wonderful ship with a lot of really wonderful people on board and some truly amazing partners. I found I found not only myself, but in everyone, in Elizabeth. She's the president of the company, and she's done things. She runs payroll and the books, and is like basically the eyes in the back of my head. And we've all done things beyond what we ever thought were our capacities to accomplish or handle. I used to be intimidated about just drawing a comic book, but now we're running a company, creating, art directing several books, editing and drawing a comic book, and dealing with, taxes and payroll and logistics and freight and printing and all of these things that we always felt we needed other people to help us handle, but we're actually doing it so much so that it feels like drawing a comic book is actually easy. One of the side effects of all this is I feel intensely creative lately when I do get to be creative and not be the CEO. It's like resistance oftentimes builds strength, and that's very much the case in this. I created a book about a month ago that I love, and I've been pitching. I pitched it to Kelsey, I pitched it to Patrick and Elizabeth, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. And it's a book we're going to make. It's a wonderful book with a beautiful storyline, and it's going to be another Allegiance title. I won't tell you too much about it. Patrick, our formerly editor-in-chief, he's been promoted to chief operating officer. He's running the schedule. He just sent us a financial model, our projections for the next 3 years, so I and Elizabeth can go and approach investors for another capital raise for the company, so that we can continue to grow and expand our ability to develop new IPs. That's also things that we have to deal with, and it's we spent a lot of time on the phone reviewing his projection model that he helped to create and craft. And again, these are things that are he has some experience doing similar things with his previous job, but these are all things that are around creating a business that produces comic books and not just creating comic books themselves. And anyway, I'm incredibly proud of everyone, especially Elizabeth and Patrick, and of course all our creators, but especially Elizabeth and Patrick and myself even, for doing things, stepping into shoes we never thought we would fill or would have to fill, and getting a job done. That's in my opinion, impressive. I think we can, at the end of the day, hang our hats pretty high. Not Kelsey, though. No, of course not Kelsey. No, Kelsey is delivering. I think he's definitely delivering his best work. And Kelsey's done a lot of things for us behind the scenes as well. He crafted our campaign video. He's participated in a lot of our creative discussions. So there are things Kelsey does behind the scenes too that are part and parcel of helping the company succeed. And I think you'll be blown away with Nora Saga episode 2 in particular. We had a meeting yesterday with Kelsey and Patrick and Elizabeth, and we all agreed that the episode 2 books were all elevated above the first one. So I think everybody's episode 2 books are a step above the episode 1s, and that's a real challenge in creating a fandom for your titles, in my opinion. I think episode 3 has to be better than episode 2. And episode 3s are a little easier because that's the midpoint climax of the first story arc. So you expect that to be big, but episode 2 is a tricky one because if you lose people at episode 2, your sales can really suffer. So episode 2 is one you really have to exceed the expectations you set with episode 1, and I think we've done that across the entire lineup of books in both art and story. And that's really important because once you've invested into episode 2, then the likelihood of the customer or the fan committing all the way through episode 6 is a lot higher, which is what we need to succeed as a company, right? So we need to create, we are not Marvel, and we can't. I don't want to bash the competitors. We can't afford to create a bad book. We cannot afford it. So all our books have to be excellent. And we took the time to make them excellent and the care to make them excellent. So, Pterodactyl. I'm just waiting for Red Rooster. It's been literal years. It is 1 year late. 1 year in a couple of weeks. And that is unfortunate. But again, I mean, I'm not going to repeat my spiel. So appreciate you guys. It just sucks. It just sucks. I agree. It sucks. It definitely has not been fun for me. I'm not having the time of my life. I've taken on a lot of responsibilities, and now we're taking care of a lot of people. But I'm delivering a great book to you, and I'm not farting it out. So that was the hard choice. It was a sucky choice to make for me because we had to withstand a lot of criticism, fair or unfair. But one of the reasons that just a message from a creator to a community is that a lot of creators don't come out and do this because they are right-brained, empathetic, intuitive individuals, and they understand that their art or their craft is very much a focusing their intuitions and their emotions and their ability to sense their right brain sensibilities into their work. And if they're subjected to if they're subjected to a lot of negativity, then they're not going to perform. They're not going to be as it's just going to interrupt their flow. That is really, I think, a big reason why a lot of creators don't engage in this way or in maybe even in crowdfunding. So that is really just a message from creator to community that I think the more positivity that's out there, then the more other really brilliant peers of mine in the comic book business will step out and create great work for all of you. I really do believe that because there are really brilliant individuals within the comic book world and the illustration world. And what I would love to see more than anything is for them to be able to break away from the big corporate model, the Disneys and the AT&Ts, and the franchise characters that they work on, and really deliver something from their heart. So, but you guys are all awesome. So. I might need a carnival barker or pitch front man. The thing is I'm a good pitch man. That's one thing I've discovered along this way. Like I may not be the best YouTube. I'm not a carnival barker. So Elizabeth and I have found out that we're pretty good in the boardroom. So I'm the boardroom pitch man. So if you can get me in front of an executive, then I can tell the story of a business. I can tell the story of a creative process I can. Anyway, I'm just kind of, you're sending me off topic, but a carnival barker, maybe not. I'm not a carnival barker, but I have found or grown into a good kind of boardroom one-to-one, mano-a-mano pitch guy. And that's a good skill to have and a good skill to cultivate. And I do appreciate the opportunity to be on YouTube because I think it helped cultivate all of that. So I really appreciate you guys for indulging me because you've helped me grow into somebody that can actually do that. So part and parcel of engaging with you guys has helped us to sell these great comic books and this idea of a comic book company that hopefully will benefit us as a community of people that love this medium. You're a great pitch. I love the enthusiasm. You're a great pitch man. You just suck at finishing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I could either fart out a book or deliver something excellent, and it's going to take time. So. Kelsey, I understand your loyalty, but are you really justifying taking money over a year beforehand with no book insight? The book's on the downhill side. I think you missed the earlier part of the chat. Shit's trash. Sorry. Okay. I think you're... All right. I'm just going to block Captain Happy over there. I might get a thumbs down. Oh no. All right. I'll try to work now. I'm afraid of no one, by the way. I'm afraid of no one. But my chat and the people that are supporting all this great work we're doing deserve better. Again, I'm not afraid of anybody. And if I was afraid of people, I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah, we're plenty strong. We're plenty strong. I'm afraid of George Soros. He's hiding under your bed. I'm a little afraid of Sketch. I'm a little afraid of Kelsey. Yeah. Kelsey could be under your bed. Now that I wouldn't be surprised. All right, let's get back to work on this chicken book. Oh, cat. Buddy. Hey, buddy. Will my cat make a cameo in the book? No, the cat doesn't have a cameo. Not yet. Maybe we'll do that, though. He's sweet. He got shaved. Here, you want to see him? He's shaved. I think he looks awesome. All right. Say hello, hamburger. Then gave him a lion tail. Wow. What are you messing me up? Looks like a Dr. Seuss creature. Oh man, Hamburger, they're making fun of you. He didn't like that. He doesn't like to be made fun of. Do you want to ban everybody, Hamburger? He wants to ban you all. All right. These shadows are really tricky because they got to be consistent. All right. So things that are look more like that. This is really an engineering project. Hot dog. His name is Hamburger. I guess I need another cat named Hot Dog. That'd be. You want another cat, buddy? What I mean by it's an engineering project is the shadows have to work like actual shadows, meaning that they have to wrap around objects in space, but you're thinking about a light source that's off panel and very direct. And anyway, it's complicated, and I don't have a grid here. Let's see. I do have that. So if they're off, they'll look really off. But if they're on, they have to be on, or else it'll look weird. No, that's not right because he's cutting at his chin. We'll figure it out. And then his shoulder. You know, maybe I should have just put that guy in a timeout. Is banning a little? I mean, it's not banning. You just blocked. It's not like you can't come here and watch. I think a block is okay. All right, Joseph Stolen actually had a. Why didn't I think of that? I think because I'm. Anyway, I'm very smart. All right. So I can take the flats. I was making it too complicated. So Joseph Stolen says I could just take the figure and scale it up and drop it back. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right. Brilliant. So I'll get the main light that cuts across the wall and isolate it. Why doesn't that look right? Scale it up. And stretch it a little bit. Distort. This may not work. When it says digital art looks confusing. Yeah, you're kind of you're watching the you're not watching the inception part of the creative process. So it probably does look a little confusing. It is confusing. I'm in the engineering and construction and technical part of this process. And then I get to use the finishing. The finishing part of the process is more fun because then you get all the color and light and special effects, and it really becomes a piece. You're getting to watch like the boring middle part. Okay, I think that works, actually. Kind of. All right, now what I might want to do is add all right, that's the main shadow. I'm pretty happy with it. I appreciate Joseph Stolen for the pro tip. I like it. I do like it. Now let's finish it. It looks right. I don't know, I dig it. So that's my main shadow layer. I'm going to create another rendering layer. So I'm going to have two layers of gray. One is this main shadow. So this is the stark light and dark effect that we're going to really play in this piece. As you can see on the sketch here, that main cut of light that goes across the characters in the poster and the wall. And then underneath that is going to be a more subtle layer of gray rendering that I'm going to do next. Or am I? And then I'll colorize the whole thing and kind of turn it into a bit of a sort of a painting. Okay, so we've got a $5 super chat here from Dorimacom blog. Thank you, Dorimicom blog. The Allegiance Indiegogo books are amazing. Winter issue 2 is coming out. Will there be an Indiegogo or will it be Walmart exclusive? So this is a good time to talk about how that works. And we actually discussed this, what to do with Indiegogo, and because there have been people that asked about it, are they going to expect on Indiegogo? No. So we want to create Walmart customers for now. Allegiance is not exclusive to Walmart, so we can expand beyond that. They're kind of getting the first run for being a completely amazing partner, and we definitely want to give them as much business as possible. But we don't want we want Indiegogo to be a place for special projects and collectibles and launch books. So for instance, the Founders Edition is hopefully something that's extremely collectible for people that have been watching this story, watching us since the beginning, watch this all come into being, that were Red Rooster fans and supporters, people that helped build this really cool initiative that we're doing. So Indiegogo is going to be for special projects and collectibles. So first issues. So let's say we launch a new title that's going to launch in Walmart in the fall, which is something we really like to do. So we'll probably run a Founders Edition campaign for that title, along with other special goodies you might get. So you'd get to purchase or pre-order a first look, and then the books would arrive to you a month or a month and a half in advance of the release into Walmart. So it's like a first look. It's a limited, a limited edition. And in fact, we're going to be able to number every one of them. So next time we do a Founders Edition Indiegogo, the book itself on the cover will have it'll be tied to your unique backer ID. And that is incredibly cool. That means that not only are you getting the first version of a book, but it's actually unique to you. It's tied to your backer ID number. And then you'll know that you have something that's extremely limited in quantity. And theoretically, they could be signed as well. So you'd have a signed and numbered comic book, which I think is a really incredible, kind of new thing that I don't think's been done on crowdfunding quite yet. But this is a special ability that our printer has here, and we're going to utilize that. So yeah, we want to incentivize early backing for a number of reasons. The two biggest reasons is, well, there are three. One, it rewards people that are hardcore fans who really appreciate what we're doing, and they get a chance to get first read. And then for us, it's really wonderful marketing because we get to get the word out. We get the word out on the street in advance of a release. So it's almost like paid for marketing. People get a chance to do advanced reviews. They can share their enthusiasm online. And of course, we're happy to boost the signal of fans that are readers that have or share their or express their joy or enthusiasm about a book. So somebody asked a good question. I'll get to that. And then for us as a company, it offsets the production costs, because there's from the green lighting of a new series to the time that we actually get to cash a check from Walmart sales is a pretty long period of time. So by approaching Indiegogo in this way in crowdfunding, then we get an opportunity to not be out of pocket for so many months. So that is a wonderful thing. And honestly, I'm a little perplexed that maybe I shouldn't even say this because then others will start to do it, but I'm a little perplexed that other comic book companies that have more traditional publishing means don't already do this. And maybe they do, and I don't know about it, but it's a total no-brainer. It's a total no-brainer. It takes a long time for your investment to mature in a production like this, but this is really a way to offset it. I mean, we will still probably be in the hole by the time we get checked, by the time Walmart money trickles down to us, but it offsets that by a great deal. But honestly, I think we had such success with that book that in subsequent crowdfunds, we'll do better and better each time. We'll also be able to advertise those future crowdfunds in the back of our books that are on the shelf. So we're going to try some new things. We are very excited to do that. And I feel like we're very progressive, if I can use that term, in a non-political context. In a business context, I think we're running a very modern and progressive business that is leveraging a lot of the unique and cool tools that are available to content creators in the modern day. So anyway, that's my spiel on that. Somebody asked a wonderful question up here. Boss Hog, he asks, are the Red Rooster books going to be numbered with backer numbers? So I didn't think about that, but I will think about that. So if we'd have done that with the I didn't know this was possible, but in regards to I learned about this after we printed the Founders Edition bundle. I was told at the time by the printer it wouldn't be an additional cost. So I will be looking into that, because I assume if there's not much or no additional cost, that's an extra cool thing to add to Red Rooster backers to thank them for their patience. I will look into it. That is something cool to consider. Not sure how that would work with damaged books. Yeah, that's a good. No, see, you guys are my brain trust. The backer number is added manually, so it wouldn't be an issue, I guess. I don't know. That's something else to think through. Because the idea is I want to incentivize early backers to come in and pick up their book. But if let's say you come in and you buy book number 1 or whatever, and we ship it to you and then it arrives damaged, then it's kind of difficult for us to go back to print, because we have to print them in bulk. So you would not receive your damaged copy. I couldn't reproduce book number 1 again. So that's a tricky thing. Guys, always poking holes in my good ideas. I'll have to think through that one. Or it'll have to be in the fine print in the campaign. So we would overprint them, so you would still get a book, but it would not be necessarily tied to your backer ID. We would just create additional books beyond that, beyond the number of backers, which we would do anyway, to account for damaged books. Yeah, good thinking. Might be hard with damage. Yeah, you guys, way to burst my bubble. Great. So when issue 2's around more from Saga Bastards. Oh, yeah, the second question. Sorry, I got off on tangent. So your next question was about the episode 2 books. Episode 2 books will arrive on July 7th, and then we are going to be publishing on a bi-monthly schedule. So, and what we intend to do as a company, that is the new comic book day is May 5th for us. And then every 2 months, a new episode will come out. And by the fall, by the end of the year, we want to have new titles launched. So entirely new book titles that can come out on the gap months. So when a book hits in, let's say issue 3's hit in September, that the ideal scenario is that by October, we would launch a new title, or maybe 2, hopefully 2, but it is very difficult to launch new books. So by October, or at least by December, we start releasing their books coming out on the gap months, so that customers have a chance to go into Walmart once a month and find something that's new that they haven't seen or experienced before. So that is what we're attempting to build. It certainly is in our projections in our schedule right now. So hope that answers your question. Yeah, everybody's pointing out that damaged books would be a problem. Yeah. All right, maybe we can't do that. I thought it was a great idea. In theory, it's a terrible idea. Once fulfilled, a campaign is solid worldwide market data, RIP. Yeah. All right. It's all good comments. I appreciate you guys. Sorry, I'm just flicking through the comments here. You guys are being chatty. Yeah. Again, thank you for $5. Dorimicom blog. I'll find time to grab food from Walmart. I shop at Walmart about once a month. I go into Walmart. We buy food, or goods or whatnot. We have a really nice Walmart here in Little Rock. Well, we have several, but we have one that's really awesome. Go in July and snag the second issues. I hope you enjoy them. I think we'll do well despite the general state of emergency throughout the country. People are obviously still shopping at Walmart, though they're limiting their customers, the amount of customers they have in the stores right now. But frankly, I think a little bit of an escape is an enticing offer, especially if you're stuck at home and you want to. Maybe you're a comic book fan and you're looking for a chance to get your kids into comics, or you want to buy something for your kids that is doesn't break the bank, that they can get a lot of repeated joy out of. I think it's a compelling offer despite the circumstances. And let's not forget that Action Comics came out at the tail end of the Depression, 1938. So I think comic books are something that can be born out of difficult times and circumstances, and in fact thrive and grow in those times and circumstances. So nobody really knows what the future is for the medium or for us as a business, but I feel very confident that we are in a good place with great partners, and there's a lot of potential here. In comics in general, I was telling this to Kevin Grievix, who I spent some time on the phone with yesterday. That the old adage is you don't know what you got till it's gone. I think there's been a lot of criticism about comic books lately, about the state of the industry, but that means that people care, which is still a wonderful thing. So if people are complaining, then people care. They care enough to complain. It's when they stop complaining that you have to worry. But now I think people are looking at this with a little bit of a sense of existential dread, especially if you're financially tied to the comic book industry. So I think the old adage, you don't know what you got till it's gone, holds true here, or holds a lot of sway in the realm of comic books, because it's been quite a shock to the system in such a small industry. And I think a lot of people are looking at this art form that has a uniquely American expression, and they're thinking, man, wouldn't it be awful if it disappeared? It would be nice if I'm trying to steer away from criticism about comic books in general, our competitors, but I think there's some good things about it, in the sense that people don't want to lose it. There's definitely a lot of concern around it, and I think that's all really positive. So take that. I don't know where I'm going with that, but that thread, but take it for what it is. Oh, look at this. My niece loves Nora's Saga. My nephew has been enjoying the Bass Reeves book. It's been nice to share my comic hobby with both of them. We've gotten several comments and stories like that, and those are literally the best things to hear, because that's what we're doing. This from inception, that's what I wanted to do. And in fact, in the very early pitches of pitching a publishing company to people, of the possibility of a publishing company, I use that exact scenario. I want a fan to be able to read a book and enjoy it, and then with confidence pass it to their son or daughter or their nephew or niece, and say, hey, this, because they respect you. You know, your nieces and your nephews, I'm sure, look up to you, and they're going to value what you value. And so if we give you something that you can physically share with someone else, especially a kid, then we've created not just a bonding experience between a child and a character or a book or a story, but between a family member but between two family members or between two friends. And I'm of the opinion that if you can get someone to physically move your product for you. So if I can get someone to share a book with a niece or a nephew, then we've won a customer. Like, that's a real customer, because that customer now has multiplied the enthusiasm for all these beautiful things that have been created for the world. And that's a mega win. So I'd love to hear that, and I appreciate you sharing your story. Parents are looking for anything to shut their kids up for a couple of hours. What's the Walmart cover price? It's $4.98. $4.98 is the Walmart cover price. We are bringing back the 22-page comic book. So every book will be at least 22 pages. Of course, the first episodes are 24, and we're budgeting also 24 pages for the season finales, so that the premieres and the finales of each season, which is 6 episodes long, have a little bit more story content in them. We're also using 70-pound paper, which is really a step above. It's the paper that's usually used in graphic novels. And the idea behind that is we wanted the book to be something that was a lot more durable, both on the shelf and in your home. So you could put it out on your coffee table and you could pick it up, and really it felt substantial in your hands. So we've had a lot of great feedback on just the general quality. And I think part of that is just the step up in paper size that we're using. And at our volume, we can do that. We're fortunate to have a volume with this that we can do that and not add it adds an expense, but it turns out not to be a significant one. And I would love to see more comic book companies move to this paper, because it makes a difference. I have some books where the bigger companies are printing on, literally printing on 55-pound paper, and it's like tissue paper. But I mean, their printing cost must be so low. But I won't tell you what book it is or who's doing it. But we felt the books had to stand out there. And because we're targeting younger audiences, not specifically, but we do anticipate, I want middle grade readers and some elementary readers to pick up these books. So I want the books to be durable. I didn't want the books to get bent as easily or flop on the shelves as easily. I want the books to look nice on the shelf and be able to be handled a few times before they're sold without getting damaged. We'll see if that works. Some of these theories and experiments aren't going to work out on the shelf, but the paper is very nice. Again, this is I answered this one earlier, but I'll do it again. It does not include Canada. Canada has a different distributor for their books and magazines. It is a problem we're aware of, and we are working to solve, and we'll get there. So it's not Canada is not a Canadian Walmarts are not not part of our launch, but we will figure it out. So thank you for that. Any plans to publish books that are appropriate for younger kids in 8 to 10-ish? So the answer to that is yes. I'd like to think that all of these books are appropriate for 8 to 10 in the terms of like, we expect 8-year-olds to, because they're brightly colored, they're beautiful, they're going to pick them up. An 8-year-old is going to pick up one of these off the shelf and look at it. So because of that, we crafted the content to be appropriate for an 8-year-old, or the parent of an 8-year-old, more or less. So while we want comics to always have a kind of an edge to them, or a sense of wonder and allure of I can't think of the word I'm trying to manifest here. But we have to walk a line to make sure that the books are actually not explicit or gratuitous in a way that would offend the parent of an 8-year-old. Now, the stories, on the other hand, are all sort of aimed at adult, like middle grade to adult. Well, I think some of them are good for 10-year-olds. Like, I think Bass could be good for a 10-year-old. Nora, I think, for a 10-year-old, a mature 10 or 11-year-old girl or boy, would really, and I think Red Rooster is also something that could be read by a younger audience. I think they would really get into it. All the books are meant to be enjoyed by adults on a different level. At least that's the intention. But we definitely have plans for a couple books that skew just a little bit younger than the books we already have. And I won't tell you what those are yet. I don't want to talk about our future plans, but my hunch is we'll get a lot of customer data this summer, and our plans will evolve around what the data is telling us who our customers are. But my hunch is that we will have some younger readers, and our parents of younger readers, and we want to serve those younger readers, because that brings in a whole new generation. Books like A Dog Man, which is brilliant, and Captain Underpants. If you've never heard of those books, you're missing out. Those are comic books for little kids, and they sell in the tens of millions of units. I don't know what's going on up there. And that's a market that I think the comic book industry ignores at its own peril. And we're not going to ignore that market, because tens of millions of children have read Dogman and Captain Underpants. They're in every elementary school library in the country. They're very popular books. They've made a ton of money for their publishers. And most importantly, for fans of comic books, they've taught children how to read comic books. So this sequential visual narrative is something that is in their lexicon already. So from a business standpoint, these are the future customers. So the thing about a Dogman reader who's 7, they're not going to be reading Dogman forever. At a certain point, Dogman is the silly stories in Dogman. You don't want to be caught dead with a Dogman book in 6th grade, That's for the little kids, right? Or 5th grade. Like, that's for those 2nd graders, like the puny ones. So as much as I think it's great that they're reading those books, they are going to grow out of them. But that's tens of millions of readers growing out of books, out of a comic book that they're already, essentially a medium that they've already embraced and accepted and know how to interact with. So essentially, I think we should, and I think our books do, there are for those readers. They're the next generation of comic book fans. So anyway, there's some thoughts around that, and make of it what you will. Rainbow says, my kids read Captain Underpants. I have quite a few of those books. Alternative's newsprint paper isn't too thin. Yeah, newsprint's an interesting, I appreciate that the model is being explored. We definitely looked at it. Prices are really good. But it's not really for us. But I'm glad Peter's out there doing it. EVS needs all the consultation he can get when it comes to paper. I heard he got a little heat for his warping paper. It's a tricky thing. I will tell you that. It is not a easy, it's a very, very tricky thing, paper and ink and printing. And there's so many variables about it. So he definitely, I got the books and I couldn't, my books look good and they did iron out over time. And, but I understand it interrupts the reading process, but it is a very, I empathize with the problem that he had there, because it is a tricky deal. And we were very nervous about our books when we hit the go button on the printer and then waited to get them in the first round of books. But we were very pleased. Our books don't have what's called fluting. That's the word I'm looking for, fluting. There was a tiny little bit of it, I mean, very tiny, but they ironed out. And by the time they hit the shelves, they should be all very good. So are you saying we need to reach a younger audience? Who am I to tell people what to do? But hey, how are you, Art? Nice to see you. Your sketches are looking beautiful, by the way. Been enjoying them on Facebook. That's not what I'm suggesting in general. I'm just suggesting in our unique situation with Walmart, my hunch is that that's a customer base that we can reach as a company. Because those books are sold in Walmart, those kids come to Walmart with their parents, and they're going to be looking, this is my opinion, that those kids that grew up reading those more juvenile comic books are going to look for adventures and heroes that are and stories that are a little bit more complex as their brains develop into, young adults, like, 12, 13, 14-year-olds. You just start looking for things that evolve with your maturing mind. So that's just a strategy we're looking at. Comics need retail. Comics died worldwide with Diamond. Few countries have many comic stores. Most countries have Walmart, Kmart, and Walgreens. That they do. All right. It looks like I've got through all your comments. I appreciate you guys very much, and I'm going to draw again. That's not going to look right. So tricky. This is almost entirely too technical. So we got a lot of Alternifans, which is awesome. I think they got a great model. Golly, let's solve this problem. No, don't crash on me. You son of a... You guys can't see the spinning beach ball. I've got the spinning beach ball of doom. Damn it. I hope it saved a oh my gosh. It's too late to save. Sometimes it saves a backup. Yeah, press F to pay respects. I don't think I've saved in a while. All right, I'm going to get a drink of water and see if this changes. Oh. Bust. I'm out of luck. All right. Photoshop is not responding. Look at that. Photoshop not responding. Force quit. Oh, I hate that. All right, let's see how much work I lost. All of it, I'm sure. Oh, no. Okay. All right. We're not totally lost. Okay. All right. So it saved a recovery file. Thankfully, Photoshop is not they've built fail safes into the more recent versions of Photoshop. All right. All right. We lost a little bit, but we didn't lose it all. Keep calm and carry on. Somebody says, now we know why Red Rooster is late. Blame Photoshop. No, blame my decision to try to start and run a publishing company. That's why it's late. I'd be done with it by now, like long done. And I'd be running a second campaign right now. But instead, you guys got a whole bunch of books, potentially, should you choose to buy them. I seem to have a lot of backseat drivers. That I do. I don't know. All right. So one of these days, I'm going to figure out why I get, for the last several years, my life has been crazy. I'm going to figure out why one of these days. I don't know. I haven't put that one all together yet. Why Elizabeth and I get a lot of unwanted attention sometimes. But I guess it comes with the territory. Anyway. Backseat drivers are okay. Like I said about comic books earlier, when people aren't complaining, that's when you have a problem. If people are complaining, it means they still care. People just want their chicken book. Okay, I understand. It's coming. And it's going to be good. It's just funny that other people notice, which is good because it makes me know that I'm not crazy. It's like, yeah, you guys get a lot of shit. Like a pro wrote me the other day that you would all know, who loved the books, by the way. We sent this professional some of the books, and they had a lot of really nice things to say. This professional often falls in the other quote-unquote camp, if you want to call it that. I think some of that stuff's real silly. Just a professional, a well-respected professional. They loved the books. They loved the whole design and the presentation. They just were really impressed. And they said it too. It's like, you guys get some nonsense. So at least people notice. Yeah, people care about Red Rooster, and that's a big reason why. I think it's a really great way to look at. It's a good lens to have. Good way to look at it. I did it better the first time. Oh, cat, get off of there. My cat smells a little funny. Elizabeth, are you in there? Your cat smells funny. You might want to check his bottom.
That's fine.
Maybe that's just me that smells. Well, it's very nice of you to say, King Crow. No pressure. No pressure. That's funny. I still think the black and white striped pants and red rooster design is superior. You just might get a chance to see it. So hang tight for striped pants fans. You just might get your wish. So the Red Rooster story has many twists and turns, and takes the character goes through many iterations in a very kind of short time frame. So just stick with the story, and I think you will be happy. So I'm kind of losing steam in terms of talking. So things are going to get kind of quiet. I'm going to work for a while. But while I have a little bit of talking energy left, I just want to give a shout out to our Chief Operating Officer, formerly Editor-in-Chief. He's been quote unquote promoted, but really it's the same job with more responsibilities. He's still Chief Editor, but so Patrick worked for several days to create a financial model and projections for this business, which is extremely important. And it kicks butt. It kicks butt. These are very important things we have to show investors and things like that. It's one of the really complicated things you got to do with a business. But yeah, did a great job. I want to thank Elizabeth. Hit save. Thank you. I'll hit save. I want to thank Elizabeth, who's done a hell of a job over the last few months, taking over all the accounting for the company and billing and paying all the creators and for really saving the company. Like, it's just been incredible what my teammates have done. She saved the company tens of thousands of dollars, negotiating a spectacular deal with our display manufacturer. So not tens of thousands, but over 10. She saved the company over $10,000, among other spectacular feats over the last few months when work has been extreme. Our efforts have reached kind of a very extreme critical stage in terms of getting the books from the conceptual stage to the retail stage, the physical product stage, and all of the logistics that go around that and involved with that. But yeah, Patrick did a great job with the financial modeling. It's an extremely complicated table that allows us to have a plan, a very clear plan for the company and how we grow into the year 2023. And I must say, if we stick to the plan and the plan works, this company has a very, very promising strategy for growth. And if we stick to the plan and the model, as all the research that went into sell-through research, and if everything works out as expected, this will be a very worthwhile venture for everyone involved. So please buy our books. Please buy our books. We have more stories we want to make. Got a dozen of these. We've got 8 more in the queue, essentially. Really good ones. You're gonna love them. I think the second wave will be as good, if not better, than the first. Yeah, so I mean, on top of all these other duties that we're doing, things I was telling you about, like Elizabeth saving the company over $10,000, probably, I don't want to put an exact number on it, but a lot of money. And Patrick doing the financial modeling, and we're all performing these other duties. We're all 3 creators as well. Patrick's writing the Futurist comic book. Elizabeth, of course, is coloring Red Rooster, and I'm drawing it. So I really appreciate those two especially. Just want to give them shout outs. So 8 more issues. No. Okay. So, no, that's more IPs. So we have other very exciting titles that we'd like to develop and present and hire talent for. Very exciting, actually. Some of them are pretty robust in terms of how far along they are in a treatment form and in general plot and whatnot. But yeah, we have some very exciting content that we're hoping we can make. Oz says all through Walmart or Indiegogo. So earlier on, I touched on this. So my plan, the company plan for Indiegogo is to I'm going to roll through a scenario, and then I'll come on screen. So let's say we want to launch a new book into Walmart in October. This is just hypothetical. Although we do want to launch a new book in October, maybe 2. But let's say we can. What I'd like to do is run another Founders Edition campaign around the new book, the new title, bundle it with a poster and a signature and I don't know, maybe a sketchbook to accompany it, or behind the scenes or making of thing. So some type of collectible package where you get a special printing and you get your book first. So the idea is that we would launch a book in, let's say, October. We would run a campaign in August, I suppose. We'd run a campaign in August and then fulfill it in September. So you would get a month with your comic book way in advance of everyone else. It's a unique printing. It's got special labeling on it, and it comes with all these bonus things, right? And that's a way to reward fans with a first look and collectors with something that is a little bit more special and unique. And also the benefit for us as a company is we get, it's a bit of a marketing tool, and we also get to offset some of our production costs in advance of revenues. So that is what we intend to do with new books. So we'll launch them on Indiegogo first, get them into your hands first. We've figured out a lot of the, how to make it work. We did it with the Founders Edition. So we've worked a lot of the kinks out of the system and can get more of the art done in advance of it. So we don't obviously have Red Rooster related problems, which I encountered and took and take the heat for. So we'll have the books nearly done when we launch the campaign and all that kind of stuff. And they'll just be single issues, first issues. That's the concept that we're playing with internally. The other thing we're going to use Indiegogo for is special projects. So right now we're thinking about developing a box of collectible cards for characters in all of the Allegiance Arts titles, and maybe even previewing some future books, characters from future books. So the idea would be we'd have a very, very cool collector's box that they all go in. Our corrugate manufacturer that made our displays can do anything with a box. They are absolutely amazing. A company right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. So we can have them make the box. Our local printer can make cards, and our designer created an absolutely beautiful trading card, which is a gift to all backers of Red Rooster. So if you backed Red Rooster Golden Age, you will get a trading card, and they're going to go to print very, very soon. And then that just spurred the idea to create a whole box set of Allegiance Arts trading cards that it could be collectible. And maybe we could even do one every year based around, the new design schemes for the company and new characters that are introduced from new titles or current titles. So each year you could do a card set that's collectible. We even thought about adding like bonus packs, because with Indiegogo you can do these add-ons, right? So you go to checkout and you can add on a second tack on other items. So we thought of an add-ons for like $5 extra. You get creator cards. So it's like it comes in a foil pack. So it's a bonus pack. So if you buy the card set and that comes in the special box, you could add the bonus cards, and the bonus cards feature the creators. And so on the back of the hero cards, they'll have like strength, intelligence, charisma, constitution. So you can see the stats of your characters, and they'll have little blurbs that tell you more about this, because we have all these amazing backstories about, like, say, the 4D man and the Foundation man and all the villains and heroes, but there's not enough room in a comic book to tell all those backstories and little vignettes that we actually know. It's all backstory that fills out these characters. But in a card set, we can actually do that. So you can get the trading card and open it up and learn a little bit about each of these characters that you might not get to find out in the space we have within the comic book. But with the creator cards, the idea is you can get your Kelsey card, and it has strength, intelligence, charisma, and constitution, and they're all power rankings on the back. And then you get a vignette about Kelsey and about each of the creators that are involved in the various projects. I just thought it'd be hilarious and something fun to do. Doom Neutron, hello Mitch, are we still on track for May 5th for Walmart? Yes, we absolutely are. By the grace of God, we are. It literally is a miracle. We obviously everyone's plans are somewhat disrupted due to our collective crisis. The only thing that so it almost affected us. Our books were literally rolling across the Canadian border when the Canadian government shut our printer down. So our books were some of the last books to roll off the press before the Canadian government said, nope, y'all are shutting down. So we really appreciate our printing partner in Canada. They were wonderful to work with. And I think they're coming back online very, very soon. So that's wonderful to hear. Our display manufacturer slowed a little bit because they were being extra cautious in terms of their employees. But they're in Arkansas, and Arkansas was not a state that really went into quarantine or lockdown. Everybody sort of self-did it, but there were no draconian measures being taken in this state. Everyone sort of abided by the general rules created by consensus, I suppose. So anyways, we've weathered it pretty well here. And thankfully, that created no hiccups in our supply line. And of course, Walmart never stops rolling. So we feel very fortunate, very, very fortunate. So New Comic Book Day is officially May 5th. So I hope you'll show up and participate. Trading cards on these campaigns are the new fire, and it gives us retro fans something we don't see anymore. Yeah, I think the trading cards are really cool, and I certainly love. Let me show you. In fact, let me do that real quick. I'll show you the trading card if you missed it. I'll even show you the box that I've designed. Let me pull it up real quick, and I'll get you guys' thoughts on it. All right, so this is the trading card. These are both rough drafts. We have cleaner versions. There's the box. So that's the box that the cards would come in and be like a 50 or a 60 card set. And that is the Red Rooster trading card that will be a bonus gift for every backer of the Red Rooster Golden Age campaign. So if you backed Red Rooster Golden Age, you get this special and unique card. And this inspired the idea to maybe even do a whole set of cards for all the characters from all the books. And then we have the ability now to manufacture pretty much any kind of box we can dream up. So we came up with this idea to tie in our lightning theme that we've been using. Anyway, that's the card. That's the box. Here, I'll zoom in a little. There you go. So it's got the power rankings and stats and all that cool stuff. All right, so get back to it. Hit save. Rascal's muzzle. This doesn't look right to me. Awesome. I'm glad you guys like the cards. Again, we want to use Indiegogo for collectible editions and special projects. Our ultimate dream, I don't know about ultimate, but we've discussed a number of things, number of ways to utilize the Indiegogo platform that support our storylines and concepts and characters, but that don't necessarily compete with the products on the shelf at Walmart that kind of complement. We want to create a things that complement, that you can collect, that fill you in on the stories. But our big goal for, maybe I'll just give this away or start building the hype. But we want to do in 2021 a tabletop game for the Futurists. With Butch Guys, we're creating all these beautiful art assets, and a table, and the storyline for the Futurists is big, but having a tabletop game allows you to live the entire story conceptually through all the characters in multiple different outcomes, but it gives you a taste of what their race to Shambhala actually is. That's going to take a while to mature in a comic book, because it takes a long time to create a comic book and run the whole storyline. But once we build a tabletop game, then you can participate in the entire storyline in an interactive way and in the entire universe. And so I think would be a really amazing companion product. And one of the benefits about all the relationships we've built over the past year, and a half with Walmart and vendors and other executives from other companies, means that we actually, once we've created a product, then we can test it on Indiegogo. We can play test it and get a lot of data back. And we now have the relationships in place where we can actually make these, there's a significant opportunity for us to make these things actually materialize in big box stores and opening them up to, a whole new audiences. So it's not just comic books that we have the potential to do, but it's an entire, set of companion products that we could put out there, so like board games or t-shirts and even party favors, So the Futurist Art Book, yes, Sean asked me about that. That is still something we're talking about. So we might do a Futurist Art Book. It might be more like a companion thing that we do with the board game. So you might get the board game and the art book combined for a higher tier, something like that. Or it might just come with it as a bonus for something that might be, I don't know. It's still being talked about. So Futurist Art Book is something we also want to do. But a board game would be absolutely killer. And then to see it on the shelf at Walmart would be even more amazing. We'll give Hasbro a run for their money. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I touched on that at the beginning of the stream, and I think I explained myself pretty well in terms of all the dynamics at play. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, and your book will be beautiful. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I've got too many layers. I've had some really, really great chats with professional creators lately. People you would definitely know and recognize, which is it's always a wonderful thing. But I think a lot of creators are talking to each other right now, trying to figure out what this business is going to look like on the other side of this pandemic. Which is a very good thing. People, like I said, people care. There's a lot of professionals that care and want to make really great products, and they're really concerned about the business that they really do love. But it's definitely been fun to have some really great conversations lately with some really talented and knowledgeable folks. I don't want to give all their names away. But everybody's trying to figure it out, Everybody's trying to figure it out. I feel very, there's no other way to say it other than we feel very blessed to be in the, to have, to already be in our own lifeboat, I suppose. Away, the industry is, the comic book industry as we know it or have known it is going to be different, I think. I don't think anyone really quite knows what that looks like. I certainly have theories. None of them are really worth talking about on a YouTube channel. But things will be different. And a lot of creators are trying to contextualize all of that and try to understand what it looks like and where they fit into it. It'll be a very interesting year for comic books. All right, Red Rooster is done. Now I gotta fix. All right, I gotta fix Rascal. I do have reference for Rascal. I'll show you. This is my Rascal reference. I don't know, like $10 on Amazon, and then I built him a little scarf made out of electrical tape. Very, very handy. I don't know if that's any better. Save. Oh, that's good to hear. I think everybody had their favorite, which is great for me. Toss up between Norse Saga and the Futurists. A lot of people love Bass Reeves too. I was very happy to hear that because there really hasn't been a single standout. It seems to be pretty evenly dispersed what everybody's favorite book is, which is really what we wanted. And now everybody gets to argue about which book is the best with no clear winner. The Futurist is greatness. The art is fantastic. All three of those books, and Kelsey is great on Norse Saga. Yeah, they're all wonderful. I'm glad you all are liking them. So when this is all said and done, I do plan to write a book, like an actual book. I think I know the title and I know the first chapter. Like I know how it starts. It's interesting. It'll be, I think there's a lot to talk about. And I don't want to make it necessarily a book about comics because that really wouldn't be very interesting. But I'm not going to give the title away yet. I haven't written a word down other than I just sort of know how to start it, and I know a few of the chapters and various things I want to discuss, and a few, a lot of interesting things that happen along the way. And a lot of what we learned in the process about business and dealing with people and inside and outside the comic book business. Things that might really help other creators or creative people that want to try to make a living as an entrepreneur. I don't know. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff. We're living in a interesting time for comic books, I think. Still doesn't look right. That's better. Dogs have kind of a subtle, like, bridge to their nose. Or their snout. Subtle, like, bump. His eyes don't look sad enough either. So something else y'all may not know is that Kelsey is a really, he's got some storytelling chops. Y'all might see him flex in the future. Kelsey has some interesting stuff up his sleeve. Multi-talented. Okay, I think this is a very good question that I'm happy to address. So Sean Fry asks, do you have a comic book limit for your company? I used to buy Valiant comics back in 2013. They had a 7 to 9 book a month rule. So our situation is different from Valiant's. In some ways, I think Valiant, I think it's a fine rule. But in the terms of a comic book store, you have the less limitations. In Marvel and DC, especially Marvel exploit these. Marvel makes over 100 books a month. Oftentimes you'll walk into a fully stocked comic book store and there'll be 300 titles on the shelf every month. That's a lot of comic books. Now, when back in the 70s and 80s, Marvel and DC would only have like a dozen, like 20 books. And they wouldn't all be at every location, but they're limited by the fact that newsstands only have capacity for so many titles because you have to compete with other things on the shelf, like fashion magazines and bridal magazines and guns and ammo and fishing magazines, everything. So I think with a big box store like Walmart, there's a lot of room to expand, but I think we don't have a rule, but what I expect is that we do have probably a threshold of titles that we have, that I think we have an upper limit on our capacity within the constraints of a big box store. So I think that number is probably a dozen, 8 to a dozen. So, I really don't know. That's just a theory and an anticipation. But because we haven't tested that limit, I can't say for sure. And also things might evolve. Obviously, we'll do collected editions and want to get those in bookstores in different places. And there might be a situation where different types of books might be more suitable for different types of markets. Our distributor distributes not just to Walmart. So our distribution partner has a much wider reach, and they can take us into many more places. And for us, Walmart is really a very, very excellent partner to have a pilot program in. So if we succeed at Walmart, then we prove to our distributor that we incentivize our distributor to carry these books in other markets. And so there's also a possibility that some markets might not be suitable for some books might be just kids markets, and other books might be more adult stories for adult sensibilities. Anyway, we don't know what the future holds, but we do intend to find out how many. We do intend to test that upper limit, and I think it's probably around 12, 9 to 12 books. We'll see. We'll see. It'll take a little time to get there. Kelsey is great to listen to when he doesn't forget what he just said a second ago. Oh, man. Wacky tobacco. I don't really know my dog anatomy, so these might end up looking a little lumpy. Save. I've spent a lot of time here organizing the details, but once they're like in terms of the copy and all the flats and the shadows, but once they're all there and locked in place and saved in a layer where I can select them, then the rest of this is just having fun and doing a painting. I don't know if that makes sense. save. Oh, that doesn't look right. Oh, something happened. Here we go. All right, we're getting there. some texture to this poster. And the wall. I don't know if you guys can see this effect. That is an airbrush with the dissolve brush effect turned on. I'm using that to give the wall a bit of vignette and texture. I'm on the wrong layer though. Oh. All right, starting to look like a wall. I would say both of you will not be disappointed. I'm going to hit save. Felix Haas. Okay, I mean, this is we definitely don't want you to be confused in the storyline. So I'm confused by the story in the PDF, and Felix is, I believe, referring to the Red Rooster the 24-page preview that we released for backers. Is it from different parts of the comic, or will the story jump around like that in the finished book, or was it linear? And I'm just confused. So the story, okay, so the opening scene, I'm sorry, and I apologize that this wasn't clear. Flashbacks are not an easy thing to do necessarily, and maybe we didn't do it successfully. But in the story opens on, I'm not going to spoil anything for people that haven't read it, but the story opens on Frank Cooper leaving his mountainside cabin, and it's, he goes and saves this kid, and then he hops on a train, and this this hobo that's on the train, talks about the rooster being in the pictures like it's something in the past. And then he shuts the train door, and from there it goes into the Red Rooster past. So you're following Frank Cooper in this first few pages, and then he has this flashback. And the next, essentially the whole rest of the book is this flashback to the golden age of Red Rooster. So, and then the story bookends, and you pick back up on that same Frank Cooper later in the story. So those threads will connect. When you get the whole book, it should make sense. And again, I apologize if it wasn't abundantly clear in the backer preview, because it should be. But flashbacks are tricky, but it is necessary in this case. So essentially, most of the book that you will read is a flashback of the glory days of Red Rooster and his compatriots as they fight this crime syndicate that they're up against. And then from there, the rest of the Red Rooster storyline will pick up on that thread. We'll pick up on Frank Cooper, the man who's leaving the mountainside and heading back home, in the first few pages. So issue 4, which is Red Rooster Golden Age, will be the first 3. It's the collected first 3 issues. So when issue 4 kicks off, which I believe is in, if you're a Walmart customer, that would be November. That would be the November issue. So towards the end of the year, that picks up on the Frank Cooper that leaves the mountainside, and you get to pick up on his story, and then you'll have the full knowledge of what happened in the past to create that man. So I hope that makes it a little clearer. And again, I apologize if it wasn't clear in the storyline itself. When you read the whole thing, the Golden Age special, it will definitely make sense. And in fact, it's kind of set up where I want you to go back and read it twice. Because when you read it the second time in completion, you'll find all these little things that come out in the storyline. But that's a great comment, and I appreciate it. I'm happy to address it. And I'm glad you liked all 3 books in the bundle. Thank you, Felix. So, you definitely won't be disappointed with these second episodes. Okay, I think this is getting close to done to this stage of the process. Brian Blevin asks, what am I listening to? It is called, on YouTube, it is called Chill Lo-Fi Hip Hop Beats. Free, copyright free, lo-fi hip hop chill music. That is literally the title. It is 11 hours of lo-fi hip hop beats that are copyright free. So hopefully, you guys can have some beats. So we're winding down this part of the process, which is the drawing, the flats, the texture, the ink, and the grayscale. So you can see the grayscale there with the ink. It might need a little more finesse, but this creates layers of selectability. So just so I'll walk you through this process. Brian from Jacksonville. I have your Xbox 360. Yes, I sold Brian my Xbox. How are you? I don't need an Xbox anymore. That's for damn sure. No time to play games. Okay, so I've got this layer, which is sort of a texture, fine-tuned grays, and then I've got this big layer, which is the major shadows that are falling on the scene. And of course the inks layer, which is separate from all of them. And then I've got a layer of color flats. And each of these layers is selectable, so I can select different segments of these when I go into the final render. Oops, I see some mistakes. Which I'll probably do tomorrow. And then I'll finish this thing. But I believe I am running out of, it is past midnight, and I am definitely running out of brain power. So I'm going to turn this off for the night, and I appreciate all of you for tuning in. I think we still have a number of people here. We did have a great crowd tonight. Only one heckler, only one banning. Again, thank you all 2019 of you. If you haven't, go subscribe to the Allegiance Arts mailing list on allegiancearts.com. And if you missed earlier in the video, I just gave a general update on some things that are going on. We're obviously very busy trying to get all this stuff done. And I appreciate the heroic efforts of everybody that's helping us get these books across the finish line and onto the stands. And I appreciate all of you for contributing your enthusiasm and your ideas to this process, and for tuning in. Have a great night. Be well, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.